Highlights of this week: we can still feel quite tested in relationship and finances, and our mind is a bit slow, out of sorts. So here's how to get through the hurdles of this week.
Become a shining magnet. Shine.
In the beginning of the week, if both parties are up for it, we can get cleared in what is not working between you and others. If you just sit down and say, I think we need to talk, and you're ready to listen to the other person's perspective, also you sense the other person are capable and willing to likewise listen to your perspective, be open-minded to find a solution between you. Because not saying anything and keeping it building up like a volcano is not going to be a solution moving forward. So if you have something on your mind, it is time to gently sit down and get it resolved with the people involved. So it's a good time to get on the same page, clear out possible misunderstandings, because the way we view it may not at all be the way the other person views it, or what actually got you there in a discomfort and non-communicative zone. The safe zone is when two people are coming into a communication open-minded to listen to the other, be aware of where they stand, what they need to keep their balance, and how the two can find a balance of the whole together. How two people or more can find a balance where everybody feels seen and heard, understood, respected. Like the old saying, where there's a will, there's always a way. But of course, we are to also be aware of the other person's side and be willing to compromise. Life is a big flow of compromising of what is not so important to us. Stand up for what is essential for you, and what is not that essential, compromise. So everybody has room and not one person take up the whole space. Because that's the only way everybody involved can feel free, respected, and well within the situation, within the communication, within the relationship. But it can also be that the relationship is off now. Time to let it go. If there's no mutual communication, then there's no way forward. Listen in your heart if it's something that can move forward, or if it's time to let it go. Because we are from today on moving into a new side of ourselves. We are moving into a new era. The last 2 years have been preparing this, looking in, getting free from a lot of blockages within us, so we can way easier move forward, understand in a deeper sense what is important to us, what is essential, and what needs to go because it's dysfunctional, it's not working anymore. Everything is flowing. Life, nature, we are part of nature, so we are also always in flow, like it or not. Human beings don't like change and like to stay in the same, but everything is always changing if we are ready or not. So we have two solutions: either resist it and go through a lot of hurdles, or accept it and go with the flow, accept when things are off and done with. What is good, where there's flow and communication, where things can still move forward and feels good doing it. It's very important to feel in, are you good with this? Or are you sacrificing yourself, diminishing who you really are to make room for the other? But it's important to do it with peace and calm, not get into the ego mind, you did that and I did this and why haven't you done this, and just understand that the person is where he is, he, she are where they are. And if they are not willing to see both sides, you can't help you can do it for them. If you feel you need to sacrifice yourself and undermine yourself to be able to have this relationship, is it really worth it? That's the question. Can you grow in this? Can you feel free and happy and light and yourself within this relationship? If not, it's time to let it go. It's time to make room so there's room for better things to come to you. Because if all your space is clogged up with things that doesn't work, there's no room for good things to come to you, to attract better ways. So it's important to make room for things to come into your life, otherwise they can't. We're also dealing with the financial side of our life, where we realize we need a different strategy, we need a better plan. How can we actually better our situation financially? There is a feel of needing to get more focused, more disciplined in how we go about things. Remove some of the fluff that doesn't help us move forward. So we have room, yet again, to focus on the right things, get the essential done. What is like to have and what is need to have, that is the question. We really only have room for the essential. Because if we steer in too many directions, want to do too many things, there's not a lot of energy for each thing. It will not be able to evolve and expand, because as our time during the day is not endless, a little piece of our energy in each thing. Therefore, there's only a little strength and a little movement. But if we just take one or two and focus on what is really essential for us, then we have much more time, room, energy to pull it off, to really make a difference for ourselves. That is why it's important now to focus on making a better plan moving forward. Some will realize they unfortunately have hit a dead end, where it feels almost impossible to stay in this situation. And that can make you very depressed that your financial situation is not doing well. But here is the invitation to shift it around, and we are always put in difficult situations so we can start thinking out of the box, thinking in other avenues. How can we make a side hustle? Start researching how you can make a bridge. Better use your precious time on how you can make that bridge. There are so many possibilities. Put them all down on a list and feel out which one could you feel most comfortable with. Which one could you feel most excited about, passionate about, interested in the long run. Because whatever you start up, you know that it's going to take some time to learn whatever you need to learn, to put all the pieces together and being able to do it in the long run. So it's time to choose what really matters to you, what you can really stay with for the long run and develop. Find some excitement, because if it only comes from the place of needs, have to get better finances, etc., then it comes from a very low energy and it's not enough to pull it off. So you need to find some excitement and some acceptance that it will take the time it takes, and it's okay. Making one brighter move a day will move it along, and accept that there will be some trials and errors, moving front and back. Maybe some you will have to let go, but this is life. This is the adventure of life. If you look at it like an adventure you're going on, you'll have a totally different way of going about it, and the energy will be different. And therefore, it will be made up of much lighter and brighter energy, which will attract better solutions along the way. This is the law of attraction. It's all about what emanates from within you is coming back to you. But it's important to create some containers where things can come back to you. Like, there's room to bring it in. So what can you remove in order to make this space? To make room, taking some time developing it, not getting so frustrated if it doesn't work the first time. Accept that it's a journey and it will take the time it takes. The weekend is gonna be fiery, exciting, creative, for having fun with it. So it's a good time to get out and about and get on some adventures with friends and family or whatever you feel for. But be careful. We can be a bit frank and maybe hurt some feelings. Be aware of how you communicate things. Otherwise, it's going to be a smooth and happy weekend.